We're scared of what happens in the pause and in the silence. But if we don't have that, there is no beginning of a new cycle or a new thought or a new direction.
Hey, this is Justin Michael Williams, and before you get started on watching this interview that I know you're excited to watch, I want to tell you that this interview series is a part of a special event that our community does that is totally free every year called Manifest New Year's Eve. Now, whether you're watching this close to the new year or not, listen carefully because I want to give you this context. Every year, at the end of the year, our community puts together this incredible event that helps you set your mission, vision, and goals for the year to come. And our theme is you don't get what you want in life. You get what you are. You get what you are. So it's about who you're becoming so that you can transform. And these interviews, this interview that you're about to watch was a part of that special event. And the best part is it's free and you can watch it anytime you want. So if you go to this website, manifestnye.com, you can see the full replay of our 3-hour masterclass featuring all of these incredible special guests like Young Pueblo, Dr. Tama, Dan Siegel, Sarah King, Sienna Sherman, Vanessa In, and more. And our community coming together so that we can actually transform our lives. And you'll get a special manifest workbook that will walk you through every single step of the process. And it's totally free. It's our gift to you because what we really believe is that no matter who you love, no matter how much money is in your bank account, no matter what your identity is, and no matter what color your skin is, we all deserve to live in the full abundance that is our birthright. And so it's a great honor to be on this journey with you and to present to you this interview from Manifest New Year's Eve. May you be well. Hey everybody, this is Justin Michael Williams with Manifest New Year's Eve. And I am so excited and honored to have my special guest. This is my girl, y'all. I have to tell you, I am so excited to have Shelah Marie here for this interview today. I have to tell you all a little secret, okay? So it's not that big of a secret to know that one of the big things that we were hoping to do with Manifest New Year's Eve in 2020 going to 2021 is in the beginning of the year, Shelah and I were planning a big in-person gathering, like a whole thing that obviously isn't happening because of COVID. And so when we pivoted right away, I said, Shelah, even though we're having a massive pivot this year and hopefully we're going to be together next New Year's, but even still, I wanted to make sure that your voice was heard because of all the voices that I've heard this year. I think yours is one of the most important to hear. So Shelah, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. That really means so much to me. Anything that you are a part of, it's a hell yes for me. And I hope I can curse because I just did. So.
Well, I love you. And Shelah, you said something on your Instagram a couple weeks ago, or it might have been days ago. I don't even know how long it was at this point, but you said something that really stuck with me. And I think this is really relevant to all of us as we're getting into what we want to manifest in the new years. Because so many of us talk about things that we should do as we're writing our visions for ourselves. And you wrote this post that said, I have decided this year that I'm not doing anything that I don't want to. If I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. And I thought the way you wrote it was so genius. I might pull it up and read it in a minute, but can you just talk about that from the should to the want and how that's shifted in your life?
Absolutely. I had a conversation with a friend who had created a long-term course and I wanted to create a long-term course. And I was talking to her and I was like, well, I should have a Facebook group because like, that's what you should have if you're making a course. And she was like, well, you shouldn't have it if you don't like Facebook, right? Like, don't do anything that you don't enjoy doing. Why? Because not only is your audience going to feel it, you're not going to feel it and everybody loses. And so at the beginning of 2020, Wow, it just feels so weird you didn't say that. At the beginning of 2020, I was like, you know what? I spent my whole life kind of micromanaging everything. I'm one of those people where my big problem is I'm a know-it-all. Like we read a lot, research a lot, done a lot of self-work. And so our real defense mechanism through life is having control and saying and doing
Yeah.
things. And so at the beginning of 2020, I said, I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try to live by the mantra, live life with ease. And a part of
Mhm.
that is being in joy and doing things that I like to do. And I find that when I do that, I say no a lot more. So I felt that I was kind of rolling in this tumbleweed of feeling like I should be taking up on all of these new social platforms and doing all of these new things and creating all of this content because that's what everybody else is doing. But that's not what makes me happy. And
Yeah.
so, I like doing little things like decorating my house and spending time with my bonus kids and watching Netflix with my husband. And before, I would feel guilty for those things. Like I should be working more. But why should I? That's not my particular path. And so when you stay in the joy and do things you want to do, which can, especially for women, can sound selfish up front. We can be like, well, only do what I want. Well, what about everybody else? That's another story. But for what we're talking about now is as much as we can to stay into doing what brings us joy, because then we hop in that flow. Before you know it, ideas are coming up, solutions are coming up, and things flow easy. Like I felt like I didn't have to control so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
And I'm tired, boss. I don't want to control everything anymore. It's tiring.
It's so hard. I just was pulling some tarot cards and reading some Oprah stuff and she had this quote from Wayne Dyer about surrender. And I found it super fascinating because Wayne Dyer gave this amazing quote that he was like, you didn't do nothing to get here. Like the whole first 9 months and everything whatever, it's like you had nothing to ask for. You weren't like, you know what, God, I need my nose to be right here and I need my eye to be right there and I need it to be like this. Like you just were in full surrender. And then you're born and all of a sudden everybody around us and we're like, okay, God, great work. I'll take it from here. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I got this now,
Exactly.
and
You
we control. So how do you manage that?
I found that I was talking to a friend the other day who is a workaholic. And I asked her, what is the function of work in your life? And so I asked myself, what is the function of the control in my life? Like working, you're a workaholic. Like, what does that mean though? It doesn't really mean anything unless we go under the surface, under the surface and take a deeper dive. And so for me, I had to ask myself, what is the function of the control? Why do I feel the need to control? And that's essentially because I don't trust enough. It's a lack of trust in myself, and it's a lack of trust in something higher than me to take it from here. It's exactly that example that you just gave from Wayne Dyer. And so what I find is that I ask myself, like today, what can I let go of? What can I let go of control? Today, I convinced myself that I needed to make sure I had patio furniture because I have a small gathering with my family. And I said, what can I let control of? And then my mind was like, you can get some of that cheap stuff. Your family doesn't care. They don't care. They want to sit outside and be together. And I was
Right.
like, you're right. Why was I putting that pressure on myself? So I asked myself, what can I let control of? And investigate what the function of that control is. And usually it's that lack of trust. Is
Mm.
that you think if I don't do it in this way, it won't be the way I want it. And it's sometimes we need to let go and make space for better. Your family might have the best time ever on that plastic table and bust out the spades, and everybody's sitting out there watching Home Alone 2, and nobody will ever think about your patio furniture. It's
No,
not a big
nobody's gonna
deal.
say, you know what, that was a great night, but ooh, her table, girl.
Hello.
Like,
Exactly. It's like an illusion. There's this way in which I find that over and over again, I have to remind myself to stop compartmentalizing my joy and putting it on the outside.
Mhm.
My day is not going to be joyous if I have a particular patio furniture set. That's not the real joy. The joy is, what do you like? Well, you like making spaces beautiful and you love entertaining. Do that.
Yeah.
Do that, right? And keep it here so that I know and I trust, again going back to trust, that I always make things beautiful and that I always enjoy entertaining. And regardless of whatever way it plays out, those things are present within me. They're a part of who I am. And so when I like let go of the control of what I think it should look like, then I can like rest into the like, oh, this is gonna be great, like. whatever
Yeah.
happens, don't need to put pressure on myself.
This is so good. So, okay, so in the moments when you're not feeling that joy, when you're not feeling the joy, the connection to that joy, what do you do to pull yourself back? Like, how do you rein yourself in? Or do you get in those moments, Sheila, where you're just like, well, nothing's working?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
hmm I found that now I am a avid holiday like lover. I love the holiday season. I look forward to it, and I found myself today being stressed about all the stuff you can get rolled into with the holidays. And I did find myself. I looked around the store and I was like, "Wow, look at everybody's so stressed. This is exactly what they talked about in the Grinch, or whatever." Like when they said, this the story about the gifts, and I just thought to I like what I find is really important is the same way, like if you have ever been around a child who's kind of losing it, like the timeout thing, like, hey, check in with me, not necessarily like putting them in the corner, but like that check in. I don't know if you ever had like a niece or a nephew and you're like, okay, 1 second, hey,
You get
I
down
know
to their
you.
level and be like,
Right. And what does Super Nanny say? She says, don't talk down at them, stand above them, get to their eye level, use a calm voice, and then like address the issue. And then when it's over, tell them that they did a good job, right? And so I kind of like use that on myself. So I'm
mm,
like not mean to myself, not the talking down, not the like, look at you getting rolled up in holiday stuff. Who didn't meditate enough, right? But like, hey, you're getting rolled up again in this, aren't you? I'm like, I am. I'm getting stressed over the patio thing. That's okay. It's okay to be stressed. All right. Hey, good job. Good job checking in. And like, it's like that. It takes 30 seconds. It's in my head. I don't necessarily say it out loud. I was actually walking in Target as I was doing this, but it's like that light, it has to be gentle. It's a light and gentle and honest check in with yourself.
this is beautiful. I pulled up the post that you had written, and it was so beautiful that I just want to read it. It said, like, it's hard not to fall into the temptation of creating things, courses, content, etc., because you think that's what people want. And that first part of it, just alone, as people are going into writing their vision and going into the life that they want to create, we're in such a reset moment right now with this ritual. And so I
Yes.
think one of the powerful things, that you said here is, creating things that we think people want. So based on others' expectations, based on the should. And right now you're obviously mentioning courses and stuff, but it goes in so many areas of our lives.
All the time. All the time. I find it is so difficult, especially we live in a very specific time right now where we have access to so much information and feedback. Like there's just so much talk and everything out there. If we happen to get uncentered, if we get too much in the wave of everything that's going on, we can lose our center and our balance and just be thinking, like for me, I'm a person who produces content that I think will make people's lives better. So that's good. Okay, great. But on the downside of that is every time an event comes up, every time something comes up troubling in the media, every time I think, well, what I have to do something, I have to do something. And thinking that I have to stress myself out and wear myself thin to then give content that, to be honest, Justin, when you do it like that, it doesn't have the oomph that you want. It's thin because you came at it with thin energy. I'm overworked. Everybody loses. And so I find like to resist that temptation of feeling of shiny things or that squirrel. Ooh, ooh, ooh. But for me,
Yeah,
I feel like anybody watching this, our community, it comes from a good place.
yeah.
You might have talents, you might have been given opportunities, you might feel that you have knowledge, and you might feel that in order to like take advantage of it or show appreciation, you got to go for everything, and you really don't. Like what you just said about, you said like this is a moment of reset. If we don't rest, we can't reset.
Yes. If we don't rest, we can't reset. See, that's it. And it's taking that moment for ourselves so that we can actually be really honest with ourselves about what is the truth
The
of what.
pause, Justin, we are scared of it. I don't know. We're scared of what happens in the pause and in the silence. But if we don't have that, there is no beginning of a new cycle or a new thought or a new direction.
And I love that. I love that. The other part of what you said here that I just want to like pull the string on a little bit more for people, because really, Sheila, this is like one of the most impactful. I know it was such a short post, but it proves that when you're saying something from your heart, it really resonates
That's
deeply.
so true. I find
What you
this.
said here was the truth is, if you don't enjoy creating it, your audience will feel that and nobody wins. What's been the most successful for me is creating what I genuinely enjoy doing. Maybe I'll continue reading or not, but I'll leave it right there. And so I think the whole reason why I'm saying this is because when you're, and I'm saying you're to everyone listening, no matter what it is, like the holiday party, right? The event that you want to host, the conference you want to do, the book you want to write, the exercise that you want to do, all of it. If you're doing it in a way because you feel like you should and you're not enjoying it, the energy that comes through. I think about sometimes with my family, like my sister, my mom be so stressed to
Honey,
get dinner
yes.
ready and the presents wrapped on time that by the time we're all sitting down to eat dinner, I don't even want to talk to them anymore because they were so stressed and so
Yeah,
wound up at getting it
right.
done. Why are we even doing this? Like, like I don't even want to sit here anymore, you know?
Right. And we know better. We do it anyway. Like, yeah, it's
Yeah. So it's just like everything that you do, from making dinner to planning the holidays to what you're visioning in your life, the energy that you're bringing into it affects the energy that people receive from it.
and even taking that a step further, the energy that you create a thing with stays with the thing. So,
Mm.
for example, like working out, you just mentioned, right? That's something that I always go back and forth with. Oh, I'm not working out enough. But I find that last night I was making a TikTok with my family. I got exercise. We were dancing for a long time. I didn't think about calories. I didn't think about nothing. I was just thinking about moving because it feels good. I love dancing. When I put on music around the house, I'm dancing, I'm having fun. I love my little twerk workshops that I go to. I have so much fun. I don't think about the time. But when I say you have to do this right now, I find that I give up. I'm not motivated and I don't feel the way that I want to feel. So I feel like if we think about the energy that we're creating something with, that can be a really good guide. Like,
Yeah.
what's my energy right now? Is this the energy that I want to create this family function with?
Yeah. See, this is beautiful. And so, to go a little bit deeper and in a slightly different twist here is as people are now, writing their visions, and I think most of the people who've seen this will have done the Manifest New Year's Eve workbook and all of that, which you're a special guest on. And like, and for anybody who's watching this and you haven't seen the workbook, you can just go to manifestnye.com for newyearseve.com and get it. It's free for everybody. But most of the people watching this will have written their visions and will have started to create ideas of what it is that they want to birth into their lives in the world. And I'm curious what tips you have to make it count this year. Because I think 2020, everybody was like,
Oh yeah.
none of
I
this was on my vision board. You know what I
right. This was not on my bingo card.
mean?
I love reverse engineering goal setting because that's kind of what we're talking about, right? I want to make sure.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So usually we're like, oh, I want to earn $1 million, right? Let's say I want to get $1 million. And then we work towards the $1 million. I like to go in the reverse. So, for example, if the goal was I want to make $1 million, I would ask myself, well, when I get $1 million, how would I feel? Oh, well, I would feel safe, or I would feel secure. I would feel wealthy. Okay. And then, so what I do from then is I like reverse engineer what is the emotion that I'm chasing, really? What's the feeling behind all of this? So that if I had the feeling, regardless of the $1 million or not, I still have what I wanted anyway from the goal. And so I love to create affirmations, or I like put down the emotions like safe, right? Start with the emotions, secure, wealthy, and then I create affirmations out of that. I am safe. I am always at all times secure, and I really work on that. I literally hone in them, not leaf blower focus,
Mm-mm.
laser focus on what do you want 2021 to feel like for you? What do you want your emotional landscape and feeling and experience to be like? Divorced from the ending goal, which is what we think will give us what we want. But in reality, it starts the other way. When you feel safe, right? Let's just use this example. If you felt safe, if you reminded yourself that you have the ability to keep yourself safe of regardless of what's going on, that you create the feeling of security, that you create the feeling of wealth, that you give that to yourself, you actually will attract that similar energy in people and ideas and thoughts and actions. But regardless, what you've done is you've taken what we were talking about earlier. You've taken that thing that you think is on the outside, like Christmas, like in this box wrapped up, and you've taken it and you've put it inside of yourself, which I think is an extremely powerful act. And if there's nothing that we've learned from 2020 is that we all need to be reminded of our personal power.
Mm, I'm just taking a second to let that land, because that's it, and I love what you did there, Sheila, because what most people would have done, you already know, is I want $1 million, so let me reverse engineer. And I think where a lot of people thought you were going to go with that was, okay, so to make $1 million, you got to sell 10 people this and that
Right.
one this a month and one that a month. And you just said,
And where would that have went? Probably to a lot of doing things you don't want to do,
there we go. That's it.
you
And
know?
so you went to the anchor, which is one of our main focuses. And I love this because we didn't even talk about this, but it's one of the main focuses for Manifest New Year's Eve this year is you don't get what you want in life, you get what you are. So who is it that you want to
Oh,
become? Who is it that you want to become?
that's
Did you
good.
feel that?
Yes, I did. That is so good.
That's
You
our
get
main
what you
theme.
are.
You
Yeah.
get what you are. And so what is it and who is it that you want to become? And so that's why I was just blown away when you said you want $1 million and you just went straight to the feeling. What is the feeling? Because that's what we're really searching for. I'm thinking about this in my own life right now and all the different things that I'm thinking that I want to accomplish this year. And even like some things of like building the community out bigger, and it's like, okay, what is it that I'm wanting by building this community? What is it that I'm wanting to feel? And it's really interesting because I think a big piece of it is just like connection,
Right.
like feeling
We're starving for it.
connection, and like love and like community, which I know isn't community is not necessarily a feeling, but you get what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
that
But
family.
connectedness is,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. And so that's beautiful to just start that now, like just make the connectedness happen now,
and
with,
the sense of belonging, and also the sense that your work is impacting people,
yeah.
right? That you're making a difference, all of that, which you are, by the way, just so you know, I'm here to tell you.
We're doing what we can, and I think, in closing, one of the things that I've been wanting to ask you, is what are you doing differently this year when
Mm,
it comes to how you're setting your goals and your vision and your mission? What are you doing differently in 2021?
mm. Let me make sure I'm answering that the best way. Okay. So for me, what has been kind of a little bit of a crutch in the past is that I get scared to fully step into my light or like my zone of genius because I want I have this people pleaser thing where I want to make everybody happy. I'm
Mhm.
very at the same time I'm very not like whatever. I'm my own thing. I'm Sheila. I'm bold, but there's still a little Sheila that's like, but I want everybody to get it. I want everybody to understand me. I want everybody to, right? Like, I kind of just want to walk into the room and I just want to be friends with everybody. And what I realized is that is holding me back. The
Mm.
idea that, it's vanilla. If you are speaking to everybody, essentially you're speaking to nobody. And so in 2021, what I am doing is I'm starting first with myself, is making peace on a deeper level with everything that I am and everything that I'm perceived to be not, right? Why? Because I feel like I'm stepping bolder. Right now, I personally feel on a deep level, the world needs more people to step into their light. The world needs more people that that are going to be in, we need more light in general. I don't know if you agree. I just feel like we need lightness right now, right? So I feel that we need more people that are not going to be afraid to put forward their thoughts, their ideas,
Yeah.
their products. This is kind of weird to say all of that. I do that to myself all the time. Oh, well, I don't want to talk about astrology in front of my family. Like, I'm not going to be just pushing it onto people,
Yeah.
but I am taking the shame off of who I am. I am releasing shame. Shame, it has a low frequency of what, 20 to 40 hertz. It's going to hold us down like an anchor into the bottom of the sea, which is nice if you're like plankton, but not for us. So, okay, I don't want to be there. And so I'm releasing the shame and the need to be validated by everyone else. That only happens when you make peace with yourself on a deeper level. So actually, even in 2021, I also don't have goals. Like, usually I have like all of these goals. I have a goal in spiritual, community, this, financial. I don't. Like, my only goal is that I always return to myself.
Mm.
As I do that check in with myself, is that before I make any decision, is that I do that. That's my only goal, is to stay centered in who I am.
Beautiful. This is beautiful, Shelah. Beautiful. Thank you so much for
Thank
taking the
you.
time. And, I think the last thing that I'll just ask you, if you can just anchor into your heart and give one wish to everybody
Mhm.
listening for this year, what would be your wish for everybody who's listening?
My wish for anyone listening to this right now is that you know how powerful you are, and you have the power to keep yourself safe and strong and create a reality that is beautiful beyond belief. That was my wish, that you know how powerful you are.
You are so bomb, Shelah. You were just bomb. Okay. Just period. Like
Well, like attracts like, so
that's it. Shit. I mean, if I'm vibrating at that frequency, great. That's attracting you. Great. We were right on track for 20.
ditto, ditto.
So I love you. Thank you so much, Shelah. It really means a lot that you made time to come and do this with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I hope this has helped somebody, and 2021 is going to be the best year yet.
Oh, amazing. And for you watching, thank you so much for taking the time out of your life and your schedule and your day to listen to us. I hope this leaves you smiling even more than you were before you got onto this video. And if you want to learn more about Shelah, there's information right in the description in the notes to get in touch with her and all of her incredible programs and offerings and retreats and all the things that she offers to the world. I love you so much. This is Justin Michael Williams signing out, and I'll meet you right here in this special place next time we're together. Bye for now.